under God, justice for all.
Okay. Good. Okay. I'm going to begin.
Two, so. Tracy. Two.
All right. I'm going to begin with reading the call of the meeting. Town of Allentown Annual Town Budget Meeting, Wednesday, May 29th, 2024, and adjourned referendum, Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. The electors and citizens qualified to vote in the annual town meeting are hereby warned that the annual town budget meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 29th, 2024 at the Voluntown Elementary School, 195 Main Street in Voluntown, Connecticut at 7 p.m. for the following purposes. 1, to appropriate the funds necessary for the Board of Selectmen's budget for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 in the amount of $2,640,706. To appropriate the funds necessary for the Board of Education budget for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 in the amount of $7,301,475. To appropriate the funds necessary for the capital budgets project for the fiscal year 2024-2025 in the amount of $410,000. To consider and act on the following resolutions. Be it resolved that the town of Voluntown shall approve the sale of 2 Church Street for the sale price of $40,000 to David and Lorraine Blanchette. Item 5, be it resolved that the town of Voluntown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building code ordinance. Number 6, be it resolved that the town of Voluntown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building permit fee ordinance. At their meeting held on May 21st, 2024, the Board of Selectmen voted pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 7-7 that items 1 to 3 of the call of the annual town meeting be submitted to a referendum vote at an adjourned town meeting to be held on Wednesday, June 5th, 2024 at the Voluntown Town Hall, 115 Main Street in Voluntown, Connecticut from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. The question on the ballot label at said referendum shall read as follows. 1, shall the town of Voluntown approve a fiscal year 2024-2025 Board of Selectmen's budget in the amount of $2,640,706? Shall the town of Voluntown approve a fiscal year 2024-2025 Board of Education budget in the amount of $7,301,475? Shall the town of Voluntown approve a fiscal year 2024-2025 capital projects budget in the amount of $410,000? Voters approving the recommendations of the Board of Selectmen will vote yes, and those opposing the recommendation of the Board of Selectmen will vote no. Absentee ballots for the June 5th, 2024 referendum shall be available from the town clerk during its regular business hours.
Can I have a motion for a moderator? Do I have a second? Any other nominations? Tracy Hanson will serve.
Thank you. At this time, I'll read the rules for the meeting. For public speaking, if you choose to speak during discussion, please step up to the microphone. If you are not able to, please raise your hand and the microphone will be brought to you and held for you. Please state your name and address, and please limit yourself to no longer than 3 minutes to respect everyone's time. Please allow everyone to speak once before speaking again. Okay. Yep. Now I'm going to ask for a motion to dispense with reading the call of the minutes again, please. Ron made the motion. And a second? Tony. Okay, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Hearing none, it's approved. All right, so item 1. to approve the funds necessary for the Board of Selectmen's budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 in the amount of $2,640,706. Do I have a motion to accept item 1? And a second? Okay, thank you. So item 1 is now open for discussion. And I'm gonna go through the PowerPoint. You want? Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, like that. I'll just step up and use the arrows.
There we go. It's just very slow.
Okay.
Say next.
So there are changes to the 2024-2025 budget in the revenue. Usually we put LoSiP, the LoSiP money that we get from the state. Usually that is added in our revenue, but the state has made some accounting changes and it's moved to our budget this year. So well, goes in as the revenue and then comes out as the budget. So it's a straight wash as an expense. And the grand list remained flat, so it didn't affect our revenue. Next. So the projected increases that we have in our budget are for public safety. The fire department costs went up. We have the addition of the LoSiP to expenses, because as I mentioned, we have to account for it that way now. There have been just general price increases in our goods and services that we always have. Public works costs went up. We had some staff changing. Our part-time town hall aide was moved to a full-time position, and the state mandated early voting has added extra cost as well. Next. So those are the changes that we have on our budget. And that's what we're talking about now. So that's all. So now if anyone has any questions or comments, we can take them on the town budget. Did anyone have any questions about the town budget? Okay, then we'll move on. Yep, I need a motion to close the discussion on the town budget. And do we vote on that?
It's gonna move to referendum.
Okay, yep, so that'll be moved to referendum. All right, so now item 2, to appropriate the funds necessary for the Board of Education budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 in the amount of $7,301,475. And I need a motion and a second. Okay. And a second? Okay, now it's open for discussion.
Thank you. Thank you all for the attendance tonight and support for the educational needs of the children of Allentown. I'm Kate Beauparlant, the chair of the Board of Education, here with my fellow board members. So thank you all for well. This is to discuss the Board of Education budget. On May 9th, we approved a 2024-25 budget proposal of $7,300,475 and said that I would screw that up. So which represents an increase of $246,141 or 3.49% over the 23-24 town food total of $7,055,330. This proposal was developed over the past months to prepare for an annual town meeting, as well as considering the financial needs of the community. The budget proposal this year includes salaries for certified faculty, classified personnel, and the non-certified staff, maintaining an effective instructional program for our students, cost of tuitions for all 8 of our designated high schools, the cost of the outplacement of special education students based on current identified needs, transportation with our own buses, vans, including maintenance drivers, as well as the purchase of a new handicap van, a 2% increase in the cost of health insurance premiums with a current projected savings in the overall cost due to the faculty resignations and or retirements, costs for heating fuel, propane, diesel, gas, and electricity, allocations for maintenance and facilities to meet all safety requirements, obviously all instructional supplies, materials, and books for pre-K through 8 grade students, including a new math curriculum we're really excited about. Continuation of an SRBI, scientifically research-based intervention teacher to meet the requirements of supporting students in English, language arts, and math. And finally, funds for a Spanish teacher for grades 6, 7, and 8. We're really excited about as well. Open up just for discussion or any questions you have about budget as presented.
Projected.
Microphone.
Microphone, sorry.
The enrollment. Everybody wants to be heard.
The enrollment, is being somewhat consistent. We've leveled off at high school for the last 5 years, and then the elementary enrollment has been flat. There have been maybe 4 or 5 students less, but we're holding our own with enrollment. But over the last 3 years, we have eliminated positions as the student enrollment has decreased, such as retirement and other things. So we've been able to really meet the needs of students, and actually keeping the salaries and the health benefits flat, which is based on retirements and other things. As a matter of fact, the cost right now with this budget right now, with the salary increases and the health insurance decreases, the total cost, health insurance and salaries for certified staff, is minus $3,047.
I could do that with the insurance.
Okay, so, yeah, well,
I'm
it's,
just curious to see where we're ranging.
we have had some very unique things that have happened. And of course, we had 3 retirements, so that meant that we hired new teachers, which are in the budget at the lower salary.
Thank you, sir.
There any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. Yep. And a second? Second. Okay. All in favor of closing discussion? Aye. Okay, so we'll move on to item 3. To appropriate the funds necessary for the capital projects budget for the fiscal year 2024, 2025 in the amount of $410,000. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So up on the screen is our capital improvement budget. This is back to the other one. Yeah. So the money that we use for our capital project budget comes from the general fund. It is not part of, the mill rate and what is in the taxes. This is already money from already been taxed. So what we're proposing is a total of $410,000. 50,000 is for equipment for public works, and another 50,000 is for garage needs, which includes, where we have money set aside, we need a generator up there. And also the diesel tank that we use, for the gas, for the buses, the fire trucks and public works needs to be updated. It's at its end of, life. It needs to get updated. And 100,000 for roads. We're currently prepping Brown Road right now. For the school, there's a the school needs a new generator. The generator here is at its end of life as well. And there's $85,000 to put towards that. For public safety, we have, equipment, what, I can't remember.
Public works equipment.
I thought it was. I remember. This was, this what? Yeah, this was the Jaws of Life and the S-backs. Yes. So this is for the fire department. The Jaws of Life that the fire department currently has is not made for the standards of how vehicles have become safer, so they're harder to cut through. This is a newer Jaws of Life, and it's for the S-pack back that they have to refill every 5 years. And then for the tax assessor reval, there's $10,000 that we put towards it every year. Does anyone have any questions about the capital projects budget? Yes.
Joe Miller, Concord Road. The expenditure, the 410,000, please, how much in the non-designated fund?
That's the finance directors.
So it's $782,270, which is about 8%.
About how much?
8%.
8%? And we're required to have 5?
8 to 12.
8 to 12, okay, thank you.
Nope. Thank you. Tony pointed out that we need a motion and a second to open this up for discussion. Rachel and Tony. All right, now we can go. No, you don't have to. We don't have to do a replay. Thank you, though.
But we are now covered.
Yeah. Did anyone have any more questions? No, this will also be on the ballot at the referendum. And I need a motion to close the discussion. Jack and Ron. All in favor of closing discussion?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're moving on to the next item, which is item 4. Be it resolved that the town of Allentown shall approve the sale of 2 Church Street for the sale price of $40,000 to David and Lorraine Blanchett. So I need a motion to accept. Ron? Aaron? Okay, so we're open for discussion now.
I'd like to make a motion that we move item 4 to referendum. You have 4 items on your call that are expenditures. First 3 are going to referendum. 4th one, to Church Street, is not. Historically, the selectmen would always say that it's better to have hours available at a referendum, so everybody gets an opportunity to vote, instead of the limited amount of time here to cast your vote. So that's my reason behind making a motion to move.
Fortunately, we cannot move to referendum during a meeting. It has to be done 48 hours for a regular townsperson or 5 days for a selectman. So this has to be voted on tonight. So we
All right,
can't move.
where am I at with 3 minutes?
You can go a little longer.
To Church Street. I would ask that everybody that attended to vote against selling to Church Street. The reason being, it's in the center of the town. It's across from the town hall, the mural, the library, the town clock and garden, and sitting area. Sidewalks are already in place for access. It can be used to display the meeting spell, potentially with a plaque. Given the historical value of the meeting house and the center of town. The bell was previously displayed at Wiley School out of necessity, but really no connection between the bell and the school. Display of the bell in the area, the gazebo, the pavilion would be out of place. It doesn't fit the flow down there. There would be little maintenance to the lot. And fencing. If you needed a fence a lot, there's no fence, there's no setback required for fencing. So you can decorate it, protect it from intrusion onto the other neighbors. So I think it would be more value to the town versus to the historical society than selling it and losing that opportunity for that little spot in the center of town. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron?
On the middle of 81 James Road. We took the church years ago, it was because the steeple was pushing forward. Blanchett's house, we were afraid it was gonna fall. Talked about it, and the guy did, the town took it back. But right now, we've got $40,000 in it that was spent to take it down. We put money into it for a few other things, so it would last a couple of years. When we took it over, nobody was interested in it. But after the town got it, there was a push to save it. We have to put money into it over there, on top of all the money we spent already. We don't have enough guys in the town garage to cover all the lawn mowing and string trimming that has to be done. As far as I'm concerned, it would be a waste to say that. It's nice in thought to think of old things, but the practicality, better off to get rid of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Don't know what I'm talking about. I think to not keep it in the town because we believe that we may not be able to maintain it. It's a small piece of property. It's a push mower at best. You're just planting some grass. If I think majority here would support the selectmen, Mr. West and his committee with their economic development, the sidewalks in town. There's talk that we're going to be extending great. All for it. But then we would have to ask the question, if we're gonna ask it for 2 Church Street, who's gonna maintain the sidewalks? Do we have the people in Public Works to maintain the sidewalks and do the repairs? There's some thought given to that. So now we can't mow a postage stamp. I strongly support the idea that the rec committee has for the improvements to Constitution Field. Are we not going to do that because we're going to say we can't maintain it? There has to be some thought given to that. You can't incorporate the postage stamp into that. So I think we're going to be a little short-sighted. We don't keep the property because we believe it's going to be too much of a burden for our Public Works Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack? We have a motion to close discussion. Is there a second? All in favor of closing discussions, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing one, still passes. So I guess we're gonna take a vote on item 4. So I'll read it again. Be it resolved that the town of Allentown shall approve the sale of 2 Church Street for the sale price of $40,000 to David and Lorraine Blanchette. So we'll do a hand count. So all in favor, please raise your hand. Can you help, John?
No.
Can you get us on the table?
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm in.
They were,
Anybody else up?
yeah,
didn't
who
count
had
it
their hand up at the table.
Sorry. Anybody else at the table? I just-
Yeah, we're gonna
yeah,
redo
we'll redo
it. All right, so do you want someone to count with you?
Sure.
Emily? All right, so all in favor, raise your hand, please. And keep them there. Okay. All right, opposed? Okay, so it was 25 yes, 4 no. So it passes. So now we're on to item 5, sorry. Be it resolved that the town of Allentown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building code ordinance. So everyone, you could, when you came in, if you picked it up, these are just the building code ordinance, the changes, the additions are highlighted in yellow in the paper that you have, and anything that was removed is in brackets. We got a new building inspector and he just recommended these. Before it had the zoning enforcement officer as the person that did the certificates, when it's actually the zoning enforcement officer and the building inspector, so that's added. And yeah, the changes to the public health code and where the building inspector was added. So at this time, I'll take a motion to open this up for discussion. Ron? Tony? Okay, so anyone have any questions on this? Okay, motion's been made to close discussion. Do I have a second? Jack? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. We'll take a vote. So Item 5, be it resolved that the town of Allentown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building code ordinance. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? One. Okay, so it's passed 27-1. So item 6, be it resolved that the town of Allentown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building permit fee ordinance. Again, the changes, you can see in front of you, the brackets are coming out. So right now in the ordinance, we have the fees actually listed, which are outdated according to our new building inspector. And it changes it consecutively through everything as a minimum of $45, with, you can read it, $16.26 per thousand of estimated total cost of labor and materials. And that's changed throughout. So at this time, I'll take a motion to open discussion. Or did we accept it?
That's what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
to accept,
Rachel.
Rachel. Okay. So it's open for discussion now.
There was, you mentioned there was also the comment from the building official that the current fee structure doesn't even cover the cost of him going out to do inspections.
Correct.
So.
Are there any questions? Jack made a motion to close discussion. Do I have a second? All in favor of closing discussion, say aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, so. So we're gonna vote on item 6, be it resolved that the town of Allentown does hereby adopt the proposed amendments to the building permit fee ordinance. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Seeing none. The item passes 26-0. All right. So now I believe we're done. What's that?
This is the referendum we're trying to.
Yep. So at this time, I would like to call for a motion to adjourn to the referendum, which is Wednesday, June 5th, 12 to 8, and it's at the town hall. A second, Ron and Tony. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.